Hello, everybody. Welcome back to FUTV, Forever United TV. This is your paper round, the morning after what was another disappointing day for Manchester United. But so much more in the papers and in the tabloids and in all of sports media this morning. Lots of stories to get through, lots on Manchester United, which is where we're going to start. There is headlines through all of the Sunday papers today. Hammer and tong when it comes to Klopp and Salah having their tit for tat on the sidelines. There is so much more. Lucky Villa in a thriller. You know what the papers are like. They're bringing it us all on a Sunday. And we're diving into everything. And obviously, being a United channel, we want to get into what's going on with United first of all. Again, you've seen all the videos yesterday. You listened to me and Jay talking last night, everyone. Hope you're all doing fantastic. Hope you enjoyed them videos and that content yesterday. It was a busy one, but again, another disappointing one for Manchester United. And the talk of the town is right now that Thomas Tuchel is top of the list to replace Erik Ten Hag. There's more talk about Ten Hag leaving Manchester United. There's more talk of disruption. Some people would have it and make you think that Jason Wilcox and Manchester United are backing Ten Hag. I look at it completely the opposite way. It's completely, it's the complete opposite. Like I said, it's not anywhere near that. If anything, it's probably the worst case scenario for Erik Ten Hag in what I'm going to talk about this morning. I'll explain why as we go through it. But welcome along to the show, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. We had some sound issues on the last paper round show, which I think I have rectified. So everyone can just let me know how the sound is, how everything is looking, how everything actually is coming across to you guys. Any issues, let me know in the chat. We're a work in progress, just trying to bring you the best content that we can possibly bring you. And, well, hopefully we've done a better job this morning. Yeah, so welcome along. Hope you're all recovered. Hope everything is all right in your world. The croissant is here, the brewery's here, the papers are here, you guys are here. We're going to get into everything. We're going to talk detail on Manchester United. First of all, because we only have to look at the headline, for instance, on the back page is all about, turn the page, old school. It's all about Liverpool and the obvious spat between Klopp and Mo Salah yesterday, but the next page is straight into United. Ten Hag is going to need a lot more than Anthony and Sonic to sort this mess out. 100% Andy Dunn from the Sunday Mirror, sorry. That is what everybody knows and what everyone was talking about outside of Old Trafford yesterday. But what was talked about later on in the evening is the obvious aftermath of another poor performance for Manchester United, and that being more speculation regarding Erik Ten Hag's future at Manchester United. As we brought you last night, we talked about Ten Hag's comments to the BBC and what he said regarding Manchester United being one of the most exciting and dynamic football teams in the Premier League to watch at the moment. I seen Simon Stone's tweet earlier on. He's saying Manchester United are exciting to watch, but United just can't win. It's a recipe for disaster for Erik Ten Hag, and why United are probably still prime time right now, and everyone wants to know what's going on. The reason Man United are prime time, I've said this numerous times before, is just so everyone can see what the next installment of the circus is coming with. That's what United are. Everyone wants to see United fail. Everyone wants to see United fall. And everyone tunes in to see the next catastrophe. And again, you could just feel it in the air yesterday. Being there in the stadium, you could just feel what was coming. The Burnley fans could feel it. They were boisterous. They were up for it. We're not condemning any of the idiots that were tragedy chanting in the stands. They will obviously be never watching the football match again, and rightly so. From Burnley's side of things, they've already reported that, so that's good of the club to come out and say that. But in terms of the game and what Ten Hag was watching and what the fans were watching, it's completely different again. But you obviously then get the rumours coming in regarding Thomas Tuchel as a manager. Now, whatever you think about Thomas Tuchel as a manager, you may not think he is the right man for the job. I can see some of you in the chat already looking at it that way. And Tuchel, yeah, he divides opinion a little bit, but can you honestly, hand on heart, tell me that Thomas Tuchel is not a better manager than Erik Ten Hag? Anyone else coming in right now is going to get the same scrutiny, I think, from the fan base. I think what we have to look at is that Tuchel is a winner. He's a serial winner. He's won the major trophies in every single club that he's been to. And let's be honest, he's been to some crazy clubs with power crazy, say, owners or very hostile boards. You only have to look at Bayern Munich and how they're acting right now in trying to bring Nagelsmann back. They only sacked him not too long ago, and now they're trying to bring him back. So that tells you everything about where they are now. And this was all before the season had finished. And Tuchel is literally in the last four of the Champions League with Bayern Munich now. Yeah, the league has gone, and Leverkusen have had one of them crazy worldy seasons where everything has gone right for them. They sometimes happen. We'll judge Alonso properly next season, second season syndrome, after a big one, obviously. But Tuchel there right now, I mean, he could walk away as a Champions League winner. And then we'll see if anyone changes their mind regarding Tuchel as a manager. Because I think some people are just going in on him, what he did, why he got sacked from Bayern, why it's not working there, what happened at Chelsea, the fallout there. Who doesn't fall out at Chelsea? I just described what happened at Bayern Munich with Nagelsmann, a quality manager that said no to Bayern Munich again when offered the job. He'd rather stay in international football. So that tells you something about Bayern Munich, doesn't it? The situation with Tuchel taking a different sort of, a different angle altogether. When it comes to PSG with Thomas Tuchel, like, you only have to look at the managers that have been there. And you only have to look at it's abnormal setup and everything that's happened at PSG. It's not a normal situation. And then you look at Borussia Dortmund where it all started. Winner again in Borussia Dortmund. Literally, he has got upwards of 10 major trophies behind him, and he wants to come to Manchester United. Ornstein of The Athletic wouldn't have reported that if it wasn't true. There's more stories coming out last night. I think automatically just because of the result and what happened with United and Burnley yesterday. But there's so many problems at Manchester United right now to try and sort out in a short space of time. There are reports that Jason Wilcox has come out and said that everything is looking good. The mood is good at Manchester United. Well, when people go to find out or ask what is happening at Manchester United, what predominantly happens all the time is the club will say everything is okay. Of course they're going to say everything is okay. Mood at training is fine with the players. Yeah, that's fine. Look, it does not matter what one person gets told by the football club and what they report. All that matters in football is what happens on that pitch. That is the ultimate. It's like everyone can seem upbeat and happy. Yeah, everyone in training, that's fine. You might have just won your little five-a-side tournament or something. Do you know what I mean? Like we used to have under Ole, like winners this week. It's 5 or 6 Man United players that had won that week's five-a-side tournament at Carrington. Yeah, but what did you win in the league? What were you talking about after the game at Old Trafford or whatever Premier League club it was? Like, it does not matter what happens at Carrington. If the mood is good, that's fine. All that matters is when you walk over that white line. And all that matters for Ten Hag is the result. Manchester United playing. And the perfect example of that, I think, is what James Ducker said in the Telegraph. And he tweeted it out again, and he's reposted what he said before. Ten Hag used his programme notes to insist Manchester United are developing a shared game model on his watch. Follows our revelations this week that Jason Wilcox has been tasked with establishing a game model. Potential first signs of friction between Erik Ten Hag and the new regime. That's where I look at it as a more realistic side of everything going on with Manchester United, Ten Hag. The club are not backing him. They've not come out and backed him at all. Reports that Manchester United are happy on the training ground are separate aside to how the board feel about Erik Ten Hag. Ultimately, Manchester United in April are out of the Champions League. We cannot qualify for the Champions League. The results yesterday confirm that. That's a disaster for Manchester United. We are now looking at the possibility, again, because we didn't get that result yesterday, of not being in Europe at all. Ten Hag is not going to survive. You can stop talking about Ten Hag getting a new contract, Ten Hag being backed by Manchester United. All that matters is what happens on the pitch. All that matters is the results and where Manchester United sit in the league table, how many trophies we get, how far we go in competitions. The FA Cup is the only reason that Ten Hag is in a job now. That's it. As soon as he made that final, you knew he was going to see out the season. So let's not even talk about Ten Hag going. He's not until the season's finished. Can you honestly say to me, and you can get in the chat now, guys, I'll come to the chat in a second, that Ten Hag is going to get more out of these players in one more month of this season? Like, it's over. It is over. The season is done. Like, if you're playing like you're playing yesterday, if you're playing like you did against Sheffield United, yes, we scored 4 goals, and Ten Hag can say we're entertaining. Well, City didn't get out of second gear against Brighton and already had the game won by half-time. This is the quality of opposition you're coming up against. And United have not got what it takes to beat the likes of Manchester City right now. We really don't. We cannot beat Burnley. We've had 1 win since the international break. We had 2 wins in 9. It's horrendous. Get Tommy in now and surround him with football people, and then the benefits. Kojak needs to go as soon as the cup final is gone. Thank you for that super chat, Dad of Caesar. Let me just see now. A lot of the players might not be up to the standard, but they've been let down horribly by the manager, says Keith. Do you really want him leading out the team at Wembley? It doesn't matter, Jordan. I don't think we're going to be able to beat Manchester City anyway. I think he deserves to see out the end of the season. For me, that's it. It's not all Ten Hag's fault this season. It's not, but he has played a major part in it. And people trying to just put it all on the players are wrong. It's not just the players. Everyone plays a part in a disastrous season, just as much as everyone plays a part in a successful one. So when you look at it, you've got to look at all angles. And Ten Hag, I feel, has been a big part of the problem at Manchester United this season. The game that he's saying that we're playing, like this style of play that everyone can see, is just non-existent. And I think everyone's picking up on it now. And it's not going to help his cause at all when it comes to the end of this season, when he's hoping to still be in a job at Manchester United. Olsen says, love Ten Hag, but hope he gets sacked so these players win again, and you idiots will shout Tuchel out in 18 months. Will we, though? We don't know, Olsen. But we know, and all we're talking about, buddy, is that Ten Hag is also part of the problem. And you cannot deny that. And the way that football goes, Ten Hag will lose his job. The reality of it hurts, I know, but you cannot predict what is going to happen again. Like under Ineos, we are all looking at this like as a fresh start. If Tuchel comes in, he's new, Ineos are new, everything structure-wise is new. All that they know is that they've had the time to assess these players. So David Brailsford has been in and he's been looking into it in depth, and he may just pull the trigger when it comes to these players finally. We already know that Manchester United are not going to give the wages to these players that they want anymore. So the reason for these players always hanging around and always staying, that's gone. So this is going to be different. Anyone who's on the one more year on their contract either goes on a free or they accept new terms on less wages. So the wage bill is being cut. So there's no reason for these players to hang around anymore. So that's why it's going to be different. Everyone that we're talking about and complaining about, barring Marcus Rashford, is going to be out of contract soon enough anyway. And United will end up losing a lot, but it still will be a different approach and a fresh start to everything. Let's see what else we've got in the chat here, just so you guys can have your say. Erik Ten Hag is done. There is no point in asking about his future. Most of these players are also gone, as we need money to finance our huge changes. It would take Thomas Tuchel, not my first choice, but he's better than Erik Ten Hag. I think that's where a lot of people are right now. Sack Eric before FA Cup. If we reach there with him, then we don't have a choice than to offer a trophy to Manchester City. Honestly, there's no point in changing the manager right now. No point at all. I say Kazzy's in the house as well. Kazzy's actually just getting prepared for her game today, but welcome to the chat, Kaz. I'm in Kazzy's spot. I am, yes. The brewery's here, the croissant is here. Please get the likes up, everybody, as well. Get your comments coming in. I want to get loads of your input on the morning show today on Paper Round, because it's not been easy getting everyone's comments in, and there has been loads recently. So make sure that you do get your comments in on everything that is going on as well, guys. So yeah, and if we do it a certain mark, I will stuff the full croissant in my mouth. So yeah, let's say we get to 250 likes, I'll stick the full croissant in my mouth by the end of the show. That's just a bit of a party piece, eh? That's up to you guys. Jay says, just give it to myself and Adam until the end of the season. At least motivation won't be an issue. That's very, very true. It is. I think me and Jay would definitely have everything going for us. Looking as Tuchel being the main headline, yes, that was automatic. I think he is the one that everyone's going to at the moment because of everything going on with him himself at Bayern, and obviously Ten Hag's tenure at Manchester United now. He's just petering out. It is petering out into nothing. So let's just look at why this is happening. It all comes down to poor results for Ten Hag on the pitch. And it's like the papers say. It's like just flicking into the first page and it's a double pullout on Manchester United with Antony with a Sonic Teddy in his hand. And all I've heard is standards. That's all I heard yesterday. Like, where are they gone? What are we celebrating for? We're clinging on to moments constantly, and until the culture changes and Manchester United's standards go back to where they was, and it's going to take a long time to get there. And I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, and just because we've changed the manager, the standards are going to change. Like the mentality, like we cannot go into next season with this clinging on to players, like trying to praise Antony because he's had a good game yesterday. I'm pleased for Antony that he got his goal. But you got your goal, you move on. There's plenty more game to play. And we just seem to be like, right, job's done. That's what it is like. We have that moment and then that's it. So everything will be all right for a little bit now. We just don't seem to have that. We don't seem to have that continuity, that like commitment to the cause in any of these players. And that's the problem that Manchester United have got right now. And the fans are talking with defeat right now. The fans in the stadium, and I can tell you this for one because I'm there, they're not happy. People are screaming out, people are shouting, people are walking out of Old Trafford, ranting and raving, going on, wasting money, watching Manchester United. It's not fun anymore, the Old Trafford experience. It's like we had a fan on yesterday talking about coming down from London, talking on the fan vlog about his experience with Manchester United. He said the stadium looks crap. It looks horrible. It looks worn down. You go inside, you're tight, you're squashed in, you can't move. And then you're watching garbage football. It's just not a nice place to be right now, Manchester United. It's not. And there's a lot of work to do. And I think the football would have helped a lot of fans. If we could have got through watching decent football, and I think it would have been okay. But this is like the papers say, they're right into it. Ten Hag is going to need a lot more than Antony and a Sonic to sort this mess out. Just reading into the opening lines of Andy Dunn's report from yesterday in the paper, he says, if you're going to get especially pumped up for any particular game, Burnley at home is not the obvious choice. If you are determined to prove some sort of a point about your total commitment and your work ethic, Burnley at home would not be the most appropriate fixture to do it in. And if you had all not scored a Premier League goal all season, having a choreographed celebration at the ready and adding a cuddly toy would seem to be a little bit rich. Well, they're laughing at us. The media, the journalists, opposing fans, the rest of football, they're just laughing at United. Like I said, where are Manchester United standards at? It's like, it felt like with the celebrations yesterday, and I was chuffed to bits for Antony yesterday, I was. But the celebrations yesterday felt like we just scored a winning goal in a cup final. That's what it felt like. It's like, God, get over it. Like, it's a goal. We're at home to Burnley. They're fighting relegation. We should be in front already, but you know what? It took us 80 minutes again to get in front against a team in the bottom two, and let's just get on with it. Yeah, job done. Let's just go make sure that we see this game out now and get out of here. Two wins in a week, and it's a bit of a less stressful week. No, we switch up again. We have these moments like that. For me, is just like they're thinking the job is done. Like straight away, as soon as we score a goal, it's like, just get on with it. Karen took the kids with a super chat. Thank you so much, Karen. Actually, I don't think you actually call Karen. It's just the line and the name. It's important. The next coach is just a coach. It should be Berardi, Ashworth, Wilcox setting the style and the standards, and the coach implementing them. Managers are temporary. The club is permanent. I think that, Karen, it's a great point and a great super chat. Thank you very much. I think that's how it has to be now. It has to be a playing style. The manager or the coach, whoever it is, comes in and works to that model. Otherwise, we are going to get managers coming in buying their types of players, changing the styles. We get stuck with the other managers' players, and it constantly moves on and moves on. And we're stuck where we are now. It's like come to an end. I can't remember where it was. Like we were talking the other day. I don't know if it was outside Old Trafford or on a show. It's like 10 years, a decade on from David Moyes. Like, we're done. This is it. It's enough for Manchester United now. And this has to work under Ineos. And I just got that feeling it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be crazy this summer, but it's what's needed. It needs to have that wow factor summer for Manchester United. £100 million to spend net is the report. I don't think that's fully true. Me personally, I'm not buying into that. But another report in the Sunday Mirror today is that Radcliffe turns to Mendes. Manchester United are tapping into the contacts book of super agent Jorge Mendes as they look to transform their much criticised recruitment performance. As new co-owner Sir Jim Radcliffe continues to overhaul the Old Trafford scouting network, he has met with Mendes, who represents a host of top players, including Cristiano Ronaldo, Bernardo Silva, Darwin Núñez, Neto, so on and so on, and former United manager Jose Mourinho. Dan Ashworth is leaving Newcastle to become Jim's sporting director, and former Southampton sporting director Jason Wilcox is now technical director. Radcliffe intends being hands-on when it comes to signing new players after being dismayed at what he judges to have been a flawed and expensive recruitment policy. So tapping into Mendes, the Mirror is saying, tapping into Mendes for his contacts on players. Well, there's nothing that Manchester United can do if 100 million is our budget for the summer. Like, you can go to Mendes, you can talk to him, but you're not going to get that player. Let's not forget what Mendes is. Like, he is a super agent. He is like the Kia Jarabzins. He's like the Mino Raiola's. These guys take as much as they can out of every single deal. And FIFA have been unable to cap that fee for agents. So it is whatever the agents want to charge. And Manchester United are third in the list of most expensive outlay for player agents as well in their outgoing. So he can tap into Mendes all he wants, but he's still going to have to pay the fees. And if Manchester United have got a budget of 100 million for the summer, then you're going to struggle drastically to try and overhaul this squad. You are really going to be up against it from the word go. I don't think we've got much value in players that we can sell. And I also think that players for Manchester United are coming to Manchester United now are going to be even more difficult with us possibly not having European football at all. So you may be looking at the Branthwaites and trying to make a deal happen there because he isn't used to actually having European football. But anyone who's actually being touted or looked into or scouted by Champions League clubs in England, then we are gonna be stuck. Like, you've got Manchester United, that's fine. And I think this is why United are going to have to recruit young, because you're going to have to say and sell to these younger players, look, there's a project here, and you can grow into this team, and you can be part of the rebuild of Manchester United. You can be part of Manchester United turning that corner and becoming great again. We can't offer you European football in the next couple of years or the best opportunity to win the best trophies in the next couple of years because of this project, though, and there's not been anywhere near it. So your likes of Tone, your likes of Kimmich, your likes of all these players that you might have been linked with, these so-called ready-to-go experienced players, they're the ones that are probably going to look elsewhere because their careers are coming to an end. So why would they come to United? Beforehand, they were going to United because we were paying big wages. Now with Ineos in charge, that's not going to happen. We already know that we're trying to offload the high earners at the football club, the likes of Casemiro, Varane, Martial. Jadon Sancho, all of these players probably out of the club in the summer. So how do Ineos attract the right type of player on that budget? No matter if you're talking to Mendes or not, it doesn't matter. He's got some of the best players, but they're not going to come to Manchester United. They have to do things differently, Ineos. And this is the problem that they're going to have. Ten Hag has been part of a Manchester United that hasn't got into Europe. If that is the case, you are not going to be in charge of this football club come next season. That's a fact. There's no way around that. So how Manchester United approach this summer is all on Ineos' pulling power, the powers of negotiations and what they can do and the people that they know. It's going to have to be a charm offensive and a half, I think, to lure anyone into Manchester United this summer. It really is. Going into the chat, the champ says, I'm sick of other channels telling me how I'm not a fan because I disagree with their pundit-like views. Please never go down that route. That never happens on this one, mate. Everyone's open to an opinion on Forever United TV. It's always been the same. Morning, guys and gals. What the hell has happened to that croissant? It's squished. Did Adam take out his anger on it? No, it is. Yeah, it's pretty feeble, isn't it? It is pretty feeble. To be honest, I'm not impressed with it myself. Trust you lot to actually pick that up. Fred in the chat says, I want Ten Hag to lead out United at Wembley. So when we get creamed by City, it will slap him back to reality and realise why this club will be better without him. True. Very interesting point. My skepticism is we're not getting Pep or getting that superstar team above him. Wait, are you Eric Ten Hag in or out? What did you think of the game yesterday? Oh, he's actually talking to Graham with that one. But in terms of me answering that as well, the game yesterday was as I expected it. It was a close game between two very average sides. One very poor side because Burnley, with a striker, would be in this Premier League next season. Burnley as they are, no. They created good chances. They have a good style of play. They have an understanding of what the manager wants, and they believe in it. That's why they had more possession than Manchester United yesterday. That's why they created the better chances, I thought, yesterday, and had as many shots on target near enough as United did yesterday. So, yeah, I think Manchester United compared to Burnley, we have just got moment players which do turn it on every now and then, and that's what it was yesterday. We jumped onto a mistake. We weren't creating anything else. We did create the odd chance yesterday. I tell a lie with that, and I'm being a bit unfair on the team yesterday. Wan-Bissaka should have scored, but Højlund should have scored. Garnacho should have scored yesterday. We did create more chances yesterday. I did, but going back to the game itself, like I said, there were two very, very average teams yesterday, and it was a fair result. Both had pretty good gilt-edged chances that we didn't take, and it came down to whoever scored the first goal. I just didn't expect Casemiro and Onana both to have a complete meltdown in the 6-yard box and kill that game for us. That cost us the points, but the performance didn't deserve the points, is how I seen the game yesterday. Sunil has just renewed his membership. Thank you so much. And he says, Eric Ten Hag said, it's given that we can't finish top 1 or 2 next season and only challenge for top 4. Imagine the players feeling motivated with this low mentality. This is it, Ten Hag is basically telling them players on the pitch yesterday that they are not good enough. Because Ten Hag has always said, and he has bemoaned the injuries all season, and he has said the process only works. These are his words. So if you're saying that I'm having a go at Ten Hag again, then you can stick it. And I mean that in the politest way, because I'm only saying what Ten Hag has said. And he has said constantly, and I've always picked up on this, and I've never wanted to use it as an excuse. He's always moaned about the injuries. And alongside that quote, he's always said that this process only works, and it would only work if everyone was fit and everyone was playing. So where does that leave you as a player at Manchester United? Where does that leave you if you're a Ahmad, if you're a Mason Mount, a Scott McTominay, a Maguire, an Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and any player, basically, that cannot get in this side? and you get your chance now, and your manager comes out and says, look, we're not where we are because everyone's injured. Well, you've got the players there. I guarantee you yesterday, Ten Hag wouldn't have been coming out talking about injuries and everything like that and excuses, again, if we'd have held on to that lead. He'd have been happy with that yesterday. And if you're happy with that, that's fine. I would have been happier with the situation as it is right now, getting a 1-0 win against Burnley, because we are absolutely crap. But I also look at it and go, like, the performance doesn't warrant the points. So, yeah, that, I feel, is where everyone realistically is looking at it, but they're just having to accept what's happening right now, because the standards of Manchester United are determining how the fans should feel. And they keep on telling us that we should be happy with this. The players are doing this. We're improving here. The style of football is this, but no one is saying anything about it. The eye test is the best analysis that anyone can give. Forget about your stats. Forget about your XG. Forget about your clean sheets, your golden gloves, how many goals we've scored or anything like that. The eye test tells you everything. And these players are not together. They are not together. Fred has donated a membership. That's gone to Mr. Dobalina. Welcome to the members club, my man. And again, Fred, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. Keep your likes coming in, guys. We're just about to hit the 150 mark. I think if we do get up to the 200 mark, I will stick the full croissant in my mouth and put it out of its misery, because it is a bit of a feeble attempt to be in a croissant, this one. There is the element of squash factor going on right now. But I'm going to go through a few more of your comments regarding United. I'm going to get through some other news in the papers as well, guys. Tuchel failed at Player Power Light FC, i.e. Chelsea. Player Power FC Ultimate, i.e. Manchester United, will swallow him whole. No, Dobby, I think that's a bit negative, to be honest, mate. I don't think it's going to be the same with Ineos. We already know that they're cutting the wages, and there's going to be no more freeloaders at Manchester United under Ineos. So that automatically needs to tell you that it isn't going to be as it was. The player power is not going to carry on. Like, I don't like to go on about this. Like, other people do and talk, but I actually spoke with someone at Manchester United the other day regarding another matter, about people actually talking crap about the main issue and why Marcus Rashford is being dragged through the mud at the moment. That was the other side of things. But there are wider issues at Manchester United. There are. And it is going to be a lot of change. He said there is so much going on at the club right now. There is so much upheaval and uncertainty because Ineos are coming down hard. They are coming down very hard, and no one is safe. Not one member of staff, not one player. Like Marcus Rashford right now, he's a different story on his own. I don't want to talk about him. There's no need to talk about him because he's irrelevant to any of the headlines today. Other people will continue talking about him just to make more stories, but trust me, it's a load of crap. And we just need to concentrate on what is happening right now and pray that the summer for all Manchester United fans needs to be the one that we all are hearing about. It's going to be like if staff are worried at Manchester United, then I don't mean this in a horrible way. I'm not being vindictive. I'm not saying anything against them. But if staff at United are worried, then that's a good thing for the fan base. And I know a lot of staff at United, and there are some good people who work at Manchester United. And I hope that it doesn't come down on them. But if staff and people at Manchester United are worried, it's because change is coming. And they're not comfortable in their jobs anymore. And let's not forget, the last 10 years, they have all been a part of what has been a massive failure for Manchester United and the standards that we used to keep. So that's what I look at. I look at the facts. I look at the upheaval, the worry, the concern, the wages, the players that are not getting new contracts, the fact that Ten Hag's not getting a new offer from Ineos, because that should have happened by now, with him going into his last year. Everything that's going on right now, sadly for the staff and a lot of people that don't deserve it, is worrying. But for all fans, that needs to be looked at, I feel, as the biggest positive of all, because things are about to change at Manchester United. And that is what we have all been waiting for. So dealing with what's actually happening is definitely happening, and saying it from that side of things, I think is a positive right now. Like, there's all the rumours and there's all speculation about everything else, and we do talk about that, but when it comes to it and we're trying to base our opinions off what is actually going on right now, and what we do know is, look, all of the duck eggs have been outed. Look, Woodward's gone, Arnold's gone, Murtaugh's gone, Judge has gone. Like, all of the main protagonists from the issue of recruitments and everything around Manchester United over the last 10 years, gone. New people being brought in, football people. Ineos cutting wages, cutting staff's bonuses, taking away benefits from Manchester United staff. Things that were happening with inside that Manchester United bubble it's being popped in different parts. It's being opened up and ripped up, that bubble, all over by Ineos. And they've only been here, 3 months officially? Not even that. And look at the work that's going on right now. That's what we have to look at. They're the facts that are happening right now. We know that's happening. So positive, positive, positive. Yeah, the summer comes, it may change, and our opinions may change because their transfers might not meet expectations, or they might not inspire us. But like I said, it's like they are dealing with the crap that has been left before. So give Ineos the chance to turn Manchester United around. All I would say is, look, don't expect it to be where Sir Jim Radcliffe thinks it's going to be in 3 years. What we need to look at is has it improved from this point forward to within 3 years? That's the patience we're going to need. And if you've got players acting the way they are, moaning about certain things that are going on and critique that are coming upon their shoulders, managers that are trying to tell you something that isn't really there, trying to convince you you're watching something that you know from your own eyes is not happening, then that, I feel, is the end. And that's what Ineos are trying to change. So if you go back to what we said and what we were talking about at the start of the show, in terms of Manchester United backing Eric Ten Hag, garbage. Absolute garbage. No, they're not. Ineos haven't come out and said anything about Ten Hag. Everything being happy around the training ground, where's that come from? That's come from United itself. What are they going to come out and say? They're not going to come out and say, oh, God, everyone is upset, everyone's angry, it's a mess. No, it's not. 90% of the time, everything is good in training. It's what happens on the pitch. It doesn't matter about anything else. They can be all happy singing whatever they want in a group, or sitting down having a brew together and laughing about what's going on social media, or playing games together. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one bit. All that matters for Manchester United, and it's always been the same, is what happens on the pitch. You can make up whatever you want, what goes on off it. You can talk about everything that is good or bad on the training ground. It doesn't matter when everything's going right on the pitch. I would be happier if people were falling out at training. I would be happier if there was turmoil at training. The fact that they're saying that everything is okay at training tells you there's a problem at Manchester United. That tells you that things are going wrong, because from the training ground to the pitch, it clearly isn't working. If there's fights, if there's in-team or in-training issues, it means that players are not happy. And that means that they're not happy with how things are going for Manchester United and going on the pitch as well. Fights, fallouts, bring it on. That's what Manchester United need right now. They need players looking at this and going, I'm not happy with this. Why is he playing there? That's it. Let's get into this in training. And then if there is a fallout or a fight, then it gets talked about. Right now, anything is being done is just everything being shoved under the carpet and said that everything's nice and happy. I don't want a happy training ground. I want players wanting more. I want standards going up. If you're content with what's happening in your career right now, as a Manchester United player, you don't belong at the football club. Simple as that. Like, forget the young players and the players that have just come in. Like, it's not fair on them. It's not fair at all. Like, anyone who's only been at the club a few months, just coming up to a year right now, it's not fair to judge them. Like, Anana's making mistakes and we can judge him for his performances. Yes, fair enough, but give him time to maybe try and turn it around. You just don't know. Like, De Gea didn't have a great start to his career at United. I don't like Anana. Like, I'm 50-50 with him. I am. I'll be honest with that. But I'll give him a chance to prove me right or prove me wrong. So next year we'll start judging the likes of Mount, Anana, Højlund even more. Like Garnacho, Mainu, Cambuala, all these players coming through right now. You can leave them alone. But everyone else, if they're content and if they're happy with where their United career is at, then that's the biggest problem at this football club. That's where Ineos need to hit. And hopefully that's where Sir David Brailsford and people like that, when they're talking to players and they're assessing and auditing everything that's going on, that's what I think needs to be hit hardest at this football club. The mentality and the standards have disappeared off the planet. Like, you go into training after you've lost, then you be going into training. I'd be going into training snapping into everyone that I could. I'd be fuming. I see more reaction from an under-17s team when they draw or lose a game. Devastated, walking off, not talking to anyone. All this lot do is get back on that training ground, laughing and joking, everything's all right, high-fiving, tackles on the pitch. Like, oh, yeah, I'm all for team camaraderie and everything like that and spirit, but come on. Where have the standards gone? Barbara's in the house. I hope you're doing well, Barbara. She liked Graham's fan cam from yesterday. De Gea was nowhere near as bad as Anana being in his first season. No, individual errors. Like, I'm just saying, look, De Gea didn't have a great first season. There were massive concerns about him, but we give him time. Anana's come into an absolute mess. Let's not forget, De Gea came into a championship winning side. Let's not forget, like, everything at United was good at that point. Anana's come into a shitstorm. Let's not kid ourselves. That's what difference is with that. And I'm just saying, look, just giving Anna a little bit of time. Honestly, right now, I don't want to be changing goalkeepers again. The priorities are elsewhere. So I'm happy to give Anna next season. Hopefully he improves. Like, at the moment, I don't see it in him. I don't. But he has had some games where he's been decent. Yeah, I'm clutching at straws a little bit, but you've got to give me that at least. Boxing Straight Talk says, you can see from performances since Ten Hag arrived, the training obviously is not getting it right. If you're trying to explain their boxing, like from the training ground to Old Trafford or wherever we're playing in the Premier League or wherever it may be, then yeah, I'm with you on that one. It doesn't look like we're working on anything at all. It doesn't look like anything is happening at Carrington right now. So yeah, I agree with that. And that's down to Ten Hag. He is a coach and he's in charge of the training sessions. So it's an awkward one because you cannot see what he's talking about. I can't anyway. I mean, you guys may disagree with me. That's fine. But from what Ten Hag explains before and after and through the week, I don't see it. And he's not convincing me. Højlund needs to learn how to play on the last man, doing all his work in the wrong areas, never a threat in the 90 minutes. That's why he was subbed off. I thought Højlund was poor yesterday, Lee. I agree with that. I thought the substitutions were right yesterday. I thought Anana was a ball-playing goalkeeper. All he does is chip it forward to nobody 8 out of 10 times. It's a concern, GT. I agree with that as well. Anana yesterday was very slow getting the ball up the park. I could see Dalot and Anthony making runs, and he didn't try to get to them. Ten Hag again said he brought Anana in to play out from the back. We don't play out from the back. We can't play out from the back. They pass it around in a 6-yard box between themselves, and then one of them, whether it be Anana, whether it be Maguire or the other centre-back, it boots it long. And it usually goes to Garnacho, who is never going to win a header against any decent defender. It's not his game. Why are we going long to Garnacho? 7 times out of 10, you could say. Like, Højlund received more passes off Anana yesterday than any other player. So when Ten Hag says everyone can see the style of play and everyone can see what Manchester United are doing, is that long ball then? Because for Højlund to receive more passes from Anana than any other player on that pitch yesterday, that's long ball football. That's what it is. So that's our game plan. Hit it long. Which is why I didn't understand what happened when McTominay came on yesterday, why he didn't go further forward and he was the deeper of all of the players. It changes too often for United in terms of what players' roles and positions are. The changing of Bruno's role, McTominay's role, Mainoo's role, like Højlund, Garnacho, like there is so many chops and changes for a season with Ten Hag. Like there's no way you can build anything on the training ground if you're moving them forward players and then midfield players around constantly into different roles on the pitch. It's just never going to work. Get them likes in, guys. We're nearly at the 200 mark. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Sunday morning here. Or wherever you are watching in the world. Good afternoon, good evening as well. I hope you're all doing fantastic. We have gone into the papers. We can just laugh quickly at the situation at Liverpool. I mean, Slot, I'm not convinced by him. I may be proved wrong. I'm not going to say anything as a United fan regarding managerial appointments from Liverpool. We can sort of like look at it and go, is he better than Klopp? No. That's all right then. That helps United a little bit. Hammer and Tong, Salah and Klopp going at it yesterday on the sidelines was hilarious. It was good to see. And I think Manchester United fans, if anything, can cling on to the fact that we did play a big part in Jurgen Klopp's last season in the Premier League. And I think we started the demise of the end of their season. Like, everything is gone. They will be doing a open-top bus parade with the Carabao Cup at the end of the season. And that is that. It's as simple. Colin, who has been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Colin. I'm just numb to it all now, mate. Roll on the summer. That was pretty much what every single fan was saying outside of the stadium yesterday. It was, look, let's just get this over with, for God's sake. How fast can we fast forward this season? It's disappointing, and it is horrible to be a United fan watching this team and the demise of this team in front of our own eyes right now. It really is. But all we can do is look and try and think positive that this summer is going to be different. We are going to be seeing the back end of a lot of players that have just been at this club freeloading and taking a wage and taking advantage of a situation which is United being unsuccessful. I believe Fred was a fighter. He was a fighter but just didn't have the quality. We need to implement a new playing style in pre-season. I don't want Garnacho being turned into a new Dan James with all those long balls over the top for him to chase. That's from the Muppet Show. Luke says, looking forward, Adam, will FUTV be going on the pre-season tour next season? All will be revealed in good time, my friends. I'm not sure what the plan is yet, but we're working on a lot for the summer, so I'll keep you all posted on that. Dobby, people arguing in the chat again. Yeah, going at it. Go on, people. Just have it out. Like, this is what it's all about. Like, just don't be abusive to people. That's all. I don't start swearing at people in the chat. But make sure you get your comments in. If you, like I said, you don't have to agree with me. It's not about that. It's about us all airing our thoughts and our views, and it's why we're talking to more and more fans outside the stadiums to get their views out there, because it's not just about the game. People use it as an opportunity to just vent and just shout out their frustrations about how this football club is in general, not just what happens in the game that they just watched. It's just the way that United are right now, and it's the way that they've got the fan base feeling. Pig Riser says, we are going to get pumped by Arsenal. Realistically, we have 1 game left, and it's the cup final. Reality hurts, I know. We need to bring in Ethan Williams on the left of the front three. Much better all-round player than Rashford. Both-footed, scores goals, creates more fluid, tracks back. Ten Hag is missing a tactical trick there. It's too lately, to be honest, for these players. I don't want any youth player coming into this crap right now. I'd rather them be playing and getting game time than sat on the bench watching these overpaid first-team players fail every single week. Getting says, Adam, I'm happy that we are terrible. It means that real change will come for sure. Yeah, no papering over the cracks. I think a lot of people look at it that way as well. It's like, I want Ten Hag to go to the final so it can be proved that there is no style of play and you are 100 million miles away from Manchester City. That's what a lot of people think like. But guys, that is the end of the paper round. Thank you so much. Hope you like the new setting. Hope you like the setup. I think the sound was miles better, just going off what you guys were saying. And really loved all of your input as well. New members, super chats, all of your likes. We are just creeping up to that 200 mark. So please give the video a like on the way out, guys. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you are tuning in for the first time. I'm Adam. This is FUTV. This is the paper round. I appreciate you all joining us this morning. If you are a member, the next protocol is TIFO. Go into the community section on the channel on FUTV. Sorry, I forgot what I was talking about then for a second. So go on to Forever United TV, scroll across to the community tab. There is a post there with a link to TIFO. If you are a member, you will see that. Log on there to the page. We are watching Arsenal against Spurs today, and then we'll be back later this evening on YouTube with the evening show, the Sunday show, the one everybody loves to get involved in. That is back as well later today, guys. But for now, the paper round is done, finished, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to the mods, the members, everyone who has super chatted and commented as well today. All of your likes. Thank you, everybody. I will see you all on TIFO and later on this evening as well. Plenty to do. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the football.